Rusty the raccoon who didn't like to clean deep in the heart of Whispering Woods. There lived a little raccoon named Rusty. Rusty had the fluffiest tail in the forest, the shiniest button nose, and the biggest love for adventure. He loved climbing trees, splashing in the river, and digging through piles of leaves to find hidden treasures. But there was one thing Rusty absolutely hated: cleaning. What's the point of cleaning? Rusty would grumble whenever his mama reminded him, "It's just going to get messy again." His mama would sigh and shake her head. A clean home is a happy home. "Rusty, you'll understand one day." But Rusty didn't understand. So, instead of tidying up, he spent his time playing in the mud, rolling down grassy hills, and collecting all sorts of shiny things like buttons, bottle caps, and even an old rusty spoon. His treehouse became messier and messier. There were piles of sticks in the corner, wrappers on the floor, and crumbs scattered everywhere from the peanut butter sandwiches he loved to eat. The consequences of a messy home one evening as the golden sun dipped behind the trees. Rusty yawned and stretched. "Time for bed," he mumbled to himself. He leaped into his nest of leaves, but as soon as he landed, crunch! "Ouch!" he yelped, hopping up and holding his paw. He had landed on a sharp pinnacone buried under his messy pile of leaves. Rusty rubbed his sore paw and frowned. "Maybe I should move that," he muttered, but he was too tired. "I'll do it tomorrow." Rusty snuggled back into his bed, but just as he was about to drift off to sleep, bzz. Rusty's eyes popped open. "What is that sound?" He turned his head and gasped. A long line of ants marched across his floor. They had discovered the sticky honey jar he had knocked over earlier, and were feasting on the golden mess. "Oh no, oh no," Rusty jumped up. He tried to shoo the ants away, but they kept coming. He had to get rid of the honey, but he was too sleepy. "I'll clean it tomorrow," he mumbled and curled up again. But then, squeak, squeak. Rusty sat up straight. "Now what?" He looked around and saw a family of mice scurrying through his treehouse, nibbling on the crumbs he had left behind. Rusty groaned. Not again! The mice ran up and down his shelves, having a grand feast. Rusty tried waving his arms to scare them off, but they just scurried away, only to return moments later. Rusty sighed. "I really should clean up," he admitted, "but I'm just so tired." He pulled his blanket over his head, hoping to ignore the noise, the ants, and the mice. But suddenly, there was a loud thump. Rusty jumped out of bed in fright. He turned toward the door and gasped. Standing in his messy treehouse was Big Barry the bear. Barry was the largest bear in Whispering Woods, and he had a huge, toothy grin. "Rusty," Barry boomed. "I smelled something delicious and followed it here." He sniffed the air. Honey, crumbs, and leftover peanut butter sandwiches. What a treat, Rusty gulped. His mess had attracted a bear. Rusty learns a lesson Barry lumbered inside. Stepping over the clutter, "Nice place you got here," he said, picking up a sticky honey-covered stick and sniffing it. "Bit messy, though." "How do you even sleep?" Rusty blushed. "I guess I don't notice it much," he admitted. Barry chuckled. "Well, I hope you don't mind, but I think I'll stay for dinner." He plopped down on the floor and started licking up honey. The mice squeaked in alarm and ran off. The ants scattered. Rusty gasped, "Wait, that honey's mine," Rusty protested. Barry just grinned. "Then maybe you should have cleaned it up earlier." Rusty felt his ears burn with embarrassment. He looked around at his messy home and sighed. Maybe Mama was right. Cleaning can be fun. The next morning, Rusty woke up determined. He found his best friend, Penny the squirrel, and explained everything that had happened. Penny giggled. "You should have listened to your mama," she said. I know, Rusty said. "But will you help me clean?" Penny nodded. "Of course. Let's make it fun, together." They turned cleaning into a game. They put on music and danced while sweeping. They made a race out of picking up trash. They pretended to be pirates searching for buried treasure which, in Rusty's case, were his lost socks under piles of leaves. By the time they were done, Rusty's treehouse sparkled. The floor was clean, the crumbs were gone, and everything was neatly placed where it belonged. It felt new and cozy. Rusty sighed happily. "This feels nice." That evening, his mama visited. When she stepped inside, her eyes widened. "Rusty, this is the cleanest I've ever seen your treehouse," she said, beaming. "I'm so proud of you." Rusty grinned. "You were right, Mama. A clean home is a happy home." And to celebrate, Mama made him his favorite blueberry pie. Rusty ate every bite, knowing he had earned it. From that day on, Rusty still loved to play and go on adventures, but he also made sure to clean up afterward. And whenever he felt too lazy, he just remembered the ants, the mice, and Big Barry the bear. Because as Rusty learned that day,